EFCC arraigns Bauchi State Commissioner and 3 others for alleged terrorism financing.
NEMA releases update on Lagos Marina building collapse. Says 6 bodies recovered and 13 rescued.
National Hospital delivers 2026 Baby of the Year at 12:00 a.m.
Good morning, Nigeria. Today, our attention shall be on the new year 2026.
Claire, good to see you this new year 2026. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Demola. I hope you didn't go to cross overnight because your eyes are sharp.
Well, I had to do it in my house because, you know, we have to be here this
Absolutely.
morning. So
Absolutely.
it won't be advisable to go there. All right. The countdown is officially over, and alas, it's 2026. From the very first day in 2025 up till now, resilience and faith has been the game.
So it was 1 year that tested many Nigerians, and one too that would never be forgotten in a hurry. And that's because of so many things, but precisely because of inflation and high cost of living.
Absolutely, Claire. It didn't come as a surprise, though. And like the people we all saw it and conquered it, and with grace.
Indeed, you can say that again. Demola, Nigerians tightened their belts to cope with the times, and thankfully, the ease gradually crept in when food prices crashed late in the later part of that year. And, you know, I should say what a joy it was. But it's still a journey of redemption for many people as 2026 comes in all its glory.
So the stage is set, and with open arms, we welcome the new year with so much expectations. But like a game of chess, uncertainty looms in critical areas for the government, families, and business owners.
Already there is a bit of apprehension and hope of what 2026 may hold. For some, it is faith crept in anticipation of what will be, how it will be, and when it will be. But for us here, it is a different ball game altogether, serving you with thought-provoking conversations that will spur attitudinal change.
Yeah, attitudinal change. This is 2026. Prosperity and resolutions for a better nation is our focus today as we take a look at the new year 2026 holistically. Welcome to another era and horizon. I am Ademola Ade. Always a pleasure having you with us on this New Year Day.
Ademola, I really want to say that, you know, it is not lost on us that those of us who woke up this morning, you know, of course, breathing, full of hope and, you know, having another chance. This is all a gift. It's a gift from God, and we're very grateful. But we're coming to you this morning, not just as broadcasters, but as Nigerians, you know, grateful for where we're coming from and where we're going. So wherever you're watching from this morning, we're glad to have you join us on the first sunrise of 2026. Thank you for watching the network service of the NTA. The newspaper review will be coming up shortly, and guess what? And I'll keep that, you know, to myself later. We have the morning news. Chineye Moye is here, sparkling. Chineye, good morning. Happy New Year. I remember that old song by ABBA, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. You know, it's exciting.
Exactly, Claire. It's really exciting to have seen this new year, and we pray it will be a good one for all of us. Good morning, Nigerians. Here is the news. The search for the baby of the year 2026 took NTA crew round major health facilities in the Federal Capital Territory, including Wuse General Hospital, Maitama General Hospital, and the National Hospital, Abuja. At the National Hospital, the baby who emerged as the baby of the year 2026, Zion Idota Emmanuel, was delivered by Dr. Idris Lawal Mohammed, a senior consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, through a cesarean session. Hawa Gimba reports that baby Zion Idota Emmanuel weighed 3.0 kilograms at birth and was certified healthy by medical personnel on duty. A fire outbreak occurred at Cake Hut restaurant in Wusetu, Abuja. Eyewitnesses say the fire started just about the announcement of Happy New Year 2026, causing panic in the area. Men of the fire service have already arrived at the scene to curtail the situation and prevent the fire from spreading to nearby buildings. The extent of damage is yet to be ascertained, and there is no official confirmation of casualties as at the time of filing this report.
This thing is happening around 12 in the night. This thing not be electrical never happen. It's knock out where they are happy for the new year. Nothing cause them.
When we reached here, we saw that the fire has already engulfed the junkyard area and quickly spread to hot cake. By the grace of God, we quickly put it under control. So as we have from our preliminary investigation, we discovered that while people were celebrating the new year, a knockout was thrown onto the thatched roof of the bush bar here in the junkyard. By the grace of God, the fire is quickly put under control.
A very sad one there, but we'll continue to monitor the situation and bring you updates as more information becomes available. The Director of Search and Rescue of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Air Commodore Usman Bature, says 6 bodies have been recovered and 13 others rescued alive from the building collapse in Marina, Lagos State. Air Commodore Bature stated this when he led search and rescue officers of the agency on the ongoing rescue mission to evacuate trapped victims under the rubble of the collapsed building. He said all relevant agencies, including the military, will be mobilized to the site to ensure quick recovery of victims.
Here is to further strengthen the collaboration with other stakeholders to ensure that the search and rescue operation comes to an end. On that basis, we will leverage on our stakeholders, the construction company, as part of their corporate social responsibility to help us with the required equipment to ensure that the search and rescue is brought to an end.
The Federal High Court, Abuja, has ordered the remand of the Bauchi State Commissioner for Finance, Yakubu Adamu, and 3 others in Kuje Correctional Center, pending the determination of their bail application. Justice Emeka Nwite gave the order following the arraignment of the 4 defendants by the EFCC. Yakubu Adamu, Balarabe Abdullahi Ilela, Aminu Mohammed Bose, and Kabiru Yahya Mohammed were arraigned on a 10-count charge bordering on conspiracy, conversion of public funds, and alleged terrorism financing, running to over $9.7 million. The defendants pleaded not guilty to the 10th count charge. Justice Emeka Nwite adjourned the matter to January 5, 2026 for ruling on the bail application. The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, alongside the National President of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, have led a delegation to Gombe State to commiserate with the families of the NTA Gombe staff and other journalists who lost their lives in a fatal road accident on Monday.
Four of us have been to the families. I believe we express the condolence of the Director General.
And those are the highlights of the news at this time. Good morning, Nigeria continues with Ademola and Claire after the commercial break. Do stay.
This year, Nigeria watched. Nigeria listened. Nigeria partnered.
From Arewa to the coast, west to east, one screen, one signal, one nation.
To our viewers, Mungode, thank you for welcoming us into your homes.
To our corporate partners, Eshegon, thank you for trusting us with your brand, your messages, your ambitions.
Together, we share the news that matter, the stories that unite us, the service that strengthens our country.
To those who stayed with us, Ndeonu, Dalu, thank you for believing in a platform that stands for trust, authenticity, and reliability.
As the new year dawns, our promise is renewed. Greater commitment, stronger collaboration, higher professional standards.
More value for our clients, more quality for our viewers.
Because when Nigeria speaks, every voice must be heard.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for partnering. Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
The year 2025 marked another step in Nigeria's journey towards destination of development. However, there were many hurdles on the way. In a special package to review 2025, we interrogate the issues that determine the direction of state.
The task ahead is enormous, but surmountable. We can win. We will win.
The ovation and the recriminations.
We are united. No religious persecution in Nigeria. It's a lie from the pit of hell.
Programs, projects, protests, and pronouncements. Join us for Rear Window 2025 on Thursday, 1st January 2026. Rear Window 2025. We look back to look forward.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to...
The only tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the Federal Government of Nigeria, endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria. This is an evidence of 100% natural goodness. Eat healthy to live longer. Buy now and enjoy up to 20% discount.
Tomato paste, the taste of Nigeria.
This December, all eyes in Morocco. Africa assemble. All dreams are heading one way.
Planetary movement aligning. All passion, all fire.
Because here, you play different.
Choose your side.
Show your colors.
Bring your flag.
And we welcome you to Morocco.
Get ready for the drama, the passion, the pride. From 21st December 2025 to 18th January 2026, history will be made again.
You guys ready?
Afro Sport, your freedom of sport.
Are you ready? Join us on Reshaping Democracy, a groundbreaking program on the network service of the NTA, where citizens get the chance to ask ministers, heads of ministerial departments, agencies, and other top government officials questions on their performance and delivery of mandates. With no sector of limits, conversations build around bridging communication gaps for feedback and effect as our guests engage with the people they serve.
How does ND foster partnerships with organizations, government agencies, NGOs, among others?
As our leaders give account to citizens' inquiries on good governance, tune in to Reshaping Democracy, a creative concept coming up every Tuesday evening at 10:05 p.m.
This is Reshaping Democracy.
The Council of Our Fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. It's now time for newspaper review.
Hooray! Chukwudi Okolibwaja is back to review newspaper with us this morning. And Chukwudi, first of all, Happy New Year. And have you finished reviewing the jollof rice and chicken?
I reviewed a lot of delicacies with my mom in the village. I have a video I'm actually putting out, of me beside this woman, very happy woman. Claire, is good to travel home. As I went for something very important, my townspeople have given me a post now, and I'm determined to serve them by God's grace. I'm looking fresh.
Yeah. Of course,
It's the work of God. Actually, I told God that I must step into this year, kind of buoyant and well-blessed and all that. He answered my prayers. Debo, I have missed you. I really have. Claire, it won't get there. But I have, similar feelings for you as well.
I hear the English. You have to wait for the lady to bring out her hand.
Oh, that's in the realm of etiquette.
Yes.
You do not extend your hand to a lady. The Japanese particularly. Remember the case of the wife of a northern governor. They went to Benin City and the governor extended, and the woman kept it there. You don't extend your hand to a lady. She has the initiative. And you obey whatever she does.
Thank you. We learn every day.
That's it.
Except that we don't learn to keep resolutions. I wonder how many of you...
Don't go there now because...
We must make sure that he keeps his this year. We will track it.
You know why people don't keep resolutions? Because they don't have a system in place. Go ahead.
I didn't see New Year resolutions on the front pages of the paper, but I do see New Year's message. Just above the nameplate of leadership. And guess who from? President Tinubu. The details of that message is on page 4. But the highlight is that President Tinubu vows to empower 1,000 citizens per ward nationwide. We will ensure reform benefits reach every household in 2026. That's, of course, this year. That's the message from President Tinubu. Let me again, repeat. President Tinubu vows to empower 1,000 citizens per ward nationwide and promises to ensure reform benefits reach every household this year. And on page 4 also, Presidency, Atiku Labour Party react as Obi joins African Democratic Congress. And the leadership this morning has a very bold picture of the president right there on the front page. This 2026, our prayers will be answered. And I'm sure I heard a whole national amen on TV right now. Of course, details of that prayer is right there. But let me just summarize it. Mr. President, of course, is saying that he welcomes the new year, genuinely hoping for consolidation. Okay, this is I think this is written by somebody to the president, but you saw the president there with his hands, of course, in prayer mode, praying for this country. That's leadership for you. Let me quickly take the blueprint, and the blueprint. All right, I'll start from above the nameplate. 2026, year of renewed hope, prosperity. Tinubu, Akpabio, governors, others. And then just a little below the nameplate there, you find one of the issues, the making heated, conversation, public conversation. The FIRS rested, NRS unveils official logo as new tax laws take off today. Court OK's implementation, NOA Senate list gains. You can read up the details of this and how it affects you on pages 8 and 18. Nigeria-US airstrikes successfully hit 2 IC's targets. That's the HQ reaffirming that. And then you'll find, the front page of the blueprint with the new logo of the Revenue Generation and Collection Agency. But Demola.
All right, thank you, Claire. I have the Daily Trust newspaper with me, and just below the nameplate, Obi's ADC switch boost coalition. Details of that story can be found on page 4 and 6. Then we have tax laws. NANS mobilizes for nationwide strike. Well, I think I'll stop there because the major one is the chokes.
Yes, NANS, bracing up for a strike.
On the 14th this month
of January. It is something you have to approach with a lot of caution, or you would waive caution at those who want you back on the tax laws. I have made a confession on behalf of so many people, on this program several times. Some of us cannot run away from paying tax anymore. See that as one benefit. Of course, it doesn't affect those of us who are on the pay as you earn system.
Yeah.
You're already paying tax. But I can assure you that many people in private practice have not been paying tax. So to that extent, you should applaud the tax laws. It is not the spirit behind it that people are maybe talking against. It is how it's going to be implemented, who's going to feel so affected by it. One thing we have to take away is that SMEs are actually going to benefit a lot from it, because they are not. If you're doing, is it below 50 million? You're actually not going to pay tax as an SME. So we should not throw the baby out.
Then if you're into farming as well, you have a tax holiday for another 5 years, first 5 years, that you can even apply for another.
God is already blessing my aspirations. That's a good one. I didn't even know about that aspect. So let us be careful. I said the other time, it is not oil money that gives money to Italy, UK, US, Spain. It is tax money that gives money to a nation first and foremost. And it is a crime, not an offense, not to pay tax. You stop seeing Wesley Snipes, the famous American actor.
Yes, Chukudi,
it was tax
evasion.
Evasion.
Yes, the concern raised, so far, has been the process of implementation.
Exactly.
Especially when it comes to deductions from the banks. And we've been told, because I took time to look at it, how it affects bank users, bank customers and clients, whether or not, these things will be taken without your notice. But I've been told it will not be done arbitrarily. There are processes, if need be, that you are taxable. But if you're not, like you said, those within a particular income range that are not taxable, it will not. But stamp duty for any transfer from 10,000 naira, will apply.
That one is practically
it's sacrosanct. So, if you get any deductions, bank deductions that you don't understand, now is the time for everybody to be very circumspect.
Very.
Yes.
I think there's going to be opportunity for you to do the right thing. I don't think people's money accounts will be frozen, and I don't think you begin to give a dog a bad name so that it will hang.
I think people just need to describe the kind of transfer or transaction that they are doing. For instance, if I'm sending money to you now, I should just write gift or a refund or maybe school fees. You must, put the right label on each transaction that you are You know?
I really don't know. I don't know how that may
Let's
help,
not-
because whatever money,
Yes.
if you are sending 10 billion
Yes.
and then you put as gift, you think that
It becomes a tax.
questionable.
It's not 10 billion that we're talking about.
No, I'm just saying.
We're talking about from Chooks to me.
People give people $10,000 as gifts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
that one,
questionable.
of course.
That's
It's
true.
questionable.
It's not a question of being questionable. If it comes in that much, if they take some of it as tax, I'm not going to be surprised. That would I, frown on it. Anyway, let's see how it goes.
Yes.
Away with speculation.
OB's ADC switch.
Yes.
Boost coalition.
Yes.
Finally.
I am one person who says plurality is going to have to drive our democracy on and on. So I like the fact that ADC seems to be coming up. But between now and 2027,
are they formidable enough?
Let me not judge them. But I don't know whether 2027 is going to reveal them as a formidable force yet.
There's so much.
APC has done a lot of work without throwing a punch. Let's see how it goes.
There's so much, I don't know the right word, going on within the political circle right now, that even, listening to them talk, you want to say, what is going on? What is happening? I mean, which way, our politicians.
Which way Nigeria?
Which way Nigeria? But, I mean, the political atmosphere will be heated and intense.
This year.
Stop trying to understand politicians. You would always hit a blank wall. You can't get anywhere. Leave them alone. They know how to think about themselves. Let's pray that whatever they decide percolates down to goodness on us as citizens. 1,000 Citizens Award, I thought we were going to start with that.
Exactly. I was looking at that.
That's a very good one. Again, implementation. The good intentions of the presidency. Are we going to ensure that it happens the way the president envisions or envisages it, and because people actually need a lease. And we said the other time, we appreciate that food prices, collapsed and all that. Still, Demola doesn't have purchasing power to buy a lot of these, food prices. So we need more empowerment in terms of what comes out of our pocket to argue in the marketplace.
And that beneficiaries are not determined based on political affiliation.
Exactly. There should be no bias. It should be everyone considered as a Nigerian.
Within the world.
Yes. Very important. No politics.
Yes.
That's a very important one.
It is. We know, we talked about it yesterday.
Okay, you did.
The need for the government to actually engage the youth positively, to reduce insecurity in the country and all that. So
the DHQ is saying that
part of it.
The DHQ is saying that 2 ISIS camps actually got hit. That's the U.S. strike on ISIS and the rest of it. If you know the accuracy of the Tomahawk, I reported the Iraq war, and you will see a Tomahawk missile go like this. It gets to a tree, dodges the tree, and returns to its trajectory. Wow. It was magic in the air. So when they said they were launching Tomahawks, I knew it was going to be accurate. It is precision bombing. When people were saying they bombed empty fields and all that, I said, are you sure? If it's Tomahawks, they sent. Actually, Trump has said, I'm not giving it to Ukraine.
We're letting you off. I know you're a storyteller. Tell us what you
Did you know about the Tomahawk?
What does this say? They said usually when the lion and the deer runs, that the deer, always wins. Why do you think so?
The deer wins?
Yes.
The deer would only win if the run or the dash stretches a long distance. Otherwise, the first 100 yards, the lion would always catch up with the deer.
You're wrong. The deer runs for its life while the lion runs for food. So run with purpose. All right, run with purpose. We're letting you go.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bless you.
I learned that.
So I missed you guys.
Yes.
She didn't get me.
She got you.
The lion does 100 yards
I
can catch up with you. But after 100 yards, exhaustion comes.
I got you.
The
deer would run for its life.
And
so
the cheetah
would always win.
The cheetah runs better.
You have won. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So,
we don't lose.
Thank you.
January 1 conflict.
Thank you.
You go now.
All right, thank you so much. It's always a delight to have you back.
Same here. Thank you, guys. I missed you.
You see, they've started again. Please, can we take
So
a short
we'll
break?
take a break now. We'll return.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, NTA remains Nigeria's trusted voice. To our partners, government agencies, corporate bodies, political parties, and religious institutions, thank you. And to our millions of viewers, you are the reason we serve. Through every moment, big and small, we tell Nigeria's story with pride, balance, and integrity. As the new year begins, expect more, better programs, innovative storytelling, clearer signals, and fantastic broadcast deliveries that meet global standards. Together, we move forward with stories that matter. Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's largest network. You can't beat the reach.
The Renewed Hope Initiative RHI presents the RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow. This national competition is in 3 categories. The household category is a tree planting competition amongst 11 frontline states in northern Nigeria. Each participating household in Adamawa, Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara states will plant a minimum of 1 tree to qualify, with a video evidence of before and after the tree planting exercise. 20 million naira will be awarded to the best household. Submission deadline is 20th December 2026. Community category will see local governments, local communities, schools, and NGOs reclaim and transform degraded or abandoned areas such as dump sites, landfills, parks, and their likes into green, vibrant gardens, parks, and eco-friendly spaces. 50 million naira would be awarded to the overall best community group. Deadline for submission is 15th July 2026. States category will have all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, excluding Enugu State, have a chance to address the growing threats to environmental sustainability and cleanliness. States will be judged based on the number of trees planted on major roads and inner streets and how clean they are. 100 million naira will be awarded to the best performing state. Already, Enugu State has 100 million naira for being RHI's model green state due to its greenery and cleanliness. Video evidence must be submitted by participating states on or before 20th December 2026. All entries must be directed to RHI Office, State House, Abuja, or email rhi.greenchallenge@statehouse.gov.ng. RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow.
You have no better friend and partner than Nigeria. Let this unveiling today be a call to conscience. Let our practitioners hold the line of truth. To the media, please inform with integrity and with a deep sense of patriotism. To our public officers, communicate with transparency. To citizens, please let us speak with empathy. Let us come together to become the voice of responsibility, the voice of the world that heals division, that inspires hope and drives development.
Evie, you look worried. What's going on?
My big cousin in the university might have to drop out of school. He can't afford his school fees.
Oh no, that's not fair. Wait!
What is it, Tomiwa?
I remember my dad talking about something called Nail Fund. He said it could help university students pay their school fees.
Nail Fund? What is that?
Hey, Captain Excellence! Do you also know about Nail Fund?
Absolutely, Tomiwa. Now Fund is a federal government initiative that aims to provide financial assistance to students pursuing higher education. Now Fund not only gives money for school fees, but even school allowances, called stipends. It's the government's way of keeping their promise that no child will be left behind.
Really? You mean this Tinubu government?
Yes, now. You see, Now Fund is a government loan that helps you pay for school, and you only start paying it back later, little by little.
Ha! It's a loan. Doesn't that mean my big cousin will be swimming in debt?
Not exactly. First, this loan comes with no interest. You only start paying back when you get a job. Even then, it will be just a tiny bit at a time.
My dad says it's just like what they do in other countries like America.
Wow! This is a great idea.
See? With a Now Fund, everyone can go to school even if you don't have money. Look at those smiles.
Wow! That's amazing. I am going to tell my big cousin right now.
Remember, Now Fund is here to help every young Nigerian get the education they deserve. No child should be left behind.
All right, welcome back to the program Good Morning Nigeria. Now, as the calendar turns and 2026 is here, Nigerians are not asking for too much. So on Good Morning Nigeria this morning, we will be asking what 2026 can change, not just in our pockets, but in our peace, in our security, in the lives and future of our children. Before we bring in our guests, let's listen to this background report put together by correspondent Timothy Yusuf.
It's 2026 and sounds of jubilation and expectancy runs through streets, cities and towns. Beyond the joy is a renewed call for unity, progress and national rebirth. Social commentators believed the greatness of Nigeria reflects daily in the resilience, creativity and enduring optimism of its people. With evidence, Nigeria stands as a nation richly endowed with natural resources, vibrant human capital, and an extraordinary diversity of cultures and landscapes. Now in 2026, patriots unanimously agree that this moment presents an opportunity for national reflection and renewed commitment. It is a call for unity, love, and collective responsibility. Now more than ever, analysts say Nigerians must rise above ethnic, religious, and political divisions and reaffirm the shared destiny that binds us together as one nation. With the future depending on shared ability to build a democratic, inclusive, and united Nigeria, they affirmed every citizen, regardless of background or belief, has the opportunity to thrive. Over now to our guest in the studio for more insight into Nigeria in 2026. Happy New Year to Nigeria and Nigerians.
Thank you very much, Timothy Yusuf, for that background report. And to begin our conversation here in the studio on this first day of the new year, 2026, we already have our guest. And let me just start with Reverend Tom Takpatore. Is the senior pastor of First Baptist Church, Gariki, Abuja. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you
Happy
for
New
the
Year to you.
Happy New Year. Thank you for the privilege.
Okay.
Happy New Year to you viewers as well.
All right. Also, it's our pleasure also to, say Happy New Year to Prof. Okay, Ikechukwu who always been with us, Executive Director, Development Specs Academy, and fellow Nigeria Institute of Public Relations. Prof, it's good to see you this new year. First day, and this is the first station you are coming.
My pleasure. It's a good way to begin the new year.
It's a good way to begin the new year.
Yes, of course. And I'm very happy you're spending your first day with Good Morning Nigeria. So that's a statement. All right. Yes, yes. Well, another Good Morning Nigeria award winner is Jide Ojo. He's a public affairs analyst. And of course, I should say, NTA Good Morning Nigeria analyst. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you.
I'm your unpaid staff.
Happy
New Year, Nigeria.
Hi, Chief.
Hi, Chief.
We put Hi, Chief there.
My apologies.
Don't worry. It's a self-gratifying.
Well, Madam Hamza, you are the only one that...
I accept it, honestly. I do.
Hamza Aliyu is executive director. He's an executive director, of course, not a small position. Initiative for Grassroots Advancement in Nigeria. And I dare say, one of the most powerful movements. Anything that has to do with grassroots is very powerful. Thank you very much for having me again. And Happy New Year.
We're talking about grassroots mobilization. All right, let's start with the Reverend. I mean, it's a new year. I mean, maybe you should just give us a word. I mean, what should we expect this new year? You're a Reverend.
That's a blanket. That's a blanket. That's a blanket question.
I'm
you just ask him to wind,
just to open the the floor for us.
It's
the conversation.
It's a beautiful opportunity to see the beginning of a new day. The beginning of a new year. I believe that it's a beginning of a new dawn. And God, in His infinite wisdom, when He created the sun, the moon, and the stars to mark days and seasons. And the Bible tells us He crowns the year with His bounty. My belief, my prayer, my trust is that for every one of us, this will be a fresh start with the bounties of the Lord. And then, in Lamentations, it says, the mercies of the Lord are new every day. So I just pray that we will receive new mercies and new zest to begin again, to be revitalized and face the future with expectancy, trusting God for the best. Once again, a Happy New Year to you all.
Thank you very much for that New Year message that you have given us. And now let's go to Prof. Prof, it's a new year. There are several expectations, Nigerians, expecting from governments, policies, like we have transparency, accountability, so many things that, Nigeria are hopeful this new year will bring, especially the expectancy from the government. So what do you think should be the way, forward this year?
The first thing to say is that a new year does not automatically bring a new beginning. Except with the new year, you begin to do new things. You abandon the bad things you were doing, then you'll not get bad consequences. So the first thing is for us to ask ourselves, how much of the old are we carrying still? If we are carrying much of the old, the crooked ways, insecurity, they will remain there. So this is a new year. But from last year, there are inferences one can make personally that suggest hope. Number one, for the first time perhaps, or for the first time in a long time, we have as defense minister a recently retired general who has had combat experience in some of the hottest theaters fighting insurgency. And there has been the airstrike. So the hope and expectation is that this man, yes, he's removed the uniform, but he's practically still in uniform. His colleagues are still there. He's now in charge of Ministry of Defense. And I hope it will be under his tenure will resolve some of the, for me, troubling issues. MOD and DHQ, what's the relationship between them? I'm a soldier, I'm the one fighting in the field, but I don't procure arms. I expect it should be resolved under Musa. That the Ministry of Defense be reconfigured. People are talking about, what do you call what is this? Architecture, security architecture. That's where it will begin. is a hunter that knows the type of bullet he needs. So that whole thing that has been there for decades, I believe it should be resolved under Musa. I believe that also the challenges we foresee, there's going to be some concern about tax, etc. But the hope is that the year will bring with it something different. We are seeing defections. Are we considering that those defections will lead to issues even within the party? Because if your party, if your state is a PDP and there's APC in the party, the leader of the party is the party chairman. If the governor now comes to the party, he's going to become the leader of the party. Do you think the party chairman will be smiling? So there are so many things that will unfold. But on the whole, the year ended on a slightly cheerful note from the angle of security. Let's hope we build on it and take matters forward.
What about economy?
Sorry,
oh, the economy.
Before you go into economy, before we go into economy, Prof, I want us to, look at the word new before we even begin to apply it. I know there's a saying that, nothing is new under the sky, and that everything in philosophy, everything is becoming. So I'm just wondering if, as a nation, do we always carry our pieces into our becoming?
Yes, we do.
Ooh.
Oh, yes, because sometimes, look, you see, you can't wake up one glorious morning and transform magically in a social setting where there are many variables at play. For instance, a lot of people went to crossover. What did they cross over with? Those of them owing rent are still owing their rent. That's his problem, not mine. This year you will become a millionaire. Your job hasn't changed. It's not about to change. Those you're owing are still following you. Yeah. Your neighbor is still the nasty guy, But that crossover gives you hope. Praying to the Lord that in spite of these challenges, let there be something different. On one condition, and that's why what they want people to forget. On one condition, that I stop doing everything wrong that I'm doing. That's the thing. So the question, yes, we carry most of our... Okay, you speak of being and becoming. To become, there must be something on which you build. Transformation does not occur from nothing. So for an orange to become an orange tree, water enters, there's no nutrition. If you don't have all of that, that orange will remain an orange seed and eventually die. Concerning the economy, there is concern still. No matter how you choose to look at it, income has not improved. People are still poor. People are still hungry. It's one thing to speak of policy. It's one thing to speak of what many of them will yield in the long term. But the truth of the matter is that when you look around you, what you see is that your cousins are not getting any richer. So even if I'm here in Abuja as a politician and I'm talking about how the wonderful things we are doing as government, it does not remove the fact that poverty pervades the land. And the hope and expectation is that the optimism with which government is pushing certain policies translates into a reality that people can relate to.
Okay, today I want to, they say pocket first. I mean, the stomach first. So let's stay on economy. And we have said that, we carry our being into our becoming. And I'm just wondering, what would you say would be growth now in terms of economic well-being of Nigerians? What would you want to see added this year?
Thank you. In my column in The Punch yesterday, I weighed in on 3 critical sectors of Nigerian economy, analyzing the outgoing year through 2025. I picked on economy, politics, and security. See, economy is both at the macro and micro level. At the level of governance and government, the president has submitted his budget for 2026. But how does that reflect on you and I as an individual? If you listen to government agencies, ministries, departments, they are giving us hope. Whether that hope is a false hope remains to be unpacked. we are being told, oh, the new tax law is a game changer, and it starts from today. And I'm wary of one thing, disinformation and misinformation. Even the policies of government are not being properly and strategically communicated to the ordinary citizens. So you see a lot of pushback from those who will be worst hit with the implementation of the new tax law. Ordinarily, every government pushes tax for the purpose of generating revenue to be able to meet its policy objectives, campaign promises and all of that. But in Nigeria, the more you see, the more you look, the less you see. Did you know that a section of the Federal Inland Revenue Service got burnt towards the end of last year? And people started reading meanings to it. Is it that some people are trying to clear road for Jaga Jaga and making sure that certain things don't get into the public? So that for me, and I'm talking essentially about the content. I'm not talking about the controversy, about whether there were issues, something smuggled into it, and all of that. But there has not been proper communication. And that is supposed to be the game changer. So if people from day one, if people from day one are having issues with this new tax, which some people in government, particularly the leadership of the committee driving this process, and say, oh, it's a shared prosperity for everybody. It will make the vulnerable to pay no tax or less tax. It's going to, it doesn't mean introduction of new taxes. In fact, it's going to be beneficial. But people are not seeing themselves how this benefits them. It's a problem. And I thought since the president signed the bill about June, July, there should have been intense, proper communication, even in local languages, to let the ordinary citizens, particularly at the grassroots, know what this is all about.
But Jide, Mr. Taiwo?
Yeah,
Oyedele has, been conducting even town hall meetings. He's gone around states. No. We are looking at events and actions. You understand? He's held consultations even with the state governors themselves. And
I'm not saying he's not doing all of that.
What kind of communication?
There are 4 tax laws. You know that.
Yes.
There are 4.
Yes.
And it's about 1,000 pages. How does you have to have a synthesized version, frequently asked questions, kind of infographics that breaks it down. Who wants to read a 1,000-page document? Voluminous 4-page, 4 different tax laws. But you reduce it to, why do we have executive summaries? When you are doing proposals, you have a pager that summarizes everything. And there are different publics that will be affected by these new tax laws. Are you speaking to the bulk of the people who will derive benefit from this? Are they in the know? And you are talking of tax ombudsman who knows what it means and how they can assess it. If you are wrongly assessed, some people are already telling you, if you are sending money to me, please label it properly. say it's for gift. But this is not about tax law. Let's move away a bit from tax law. Let's look at the governance system from the 3 tiers of government. The president raised a very fundamental issue that borders on economy when he gave a warning to the governors about the non-implementation of the Supreme Court decision of July 11, 2024, that you are not allowing governance at the grassroots level. And that is very consequential, clear, because you and I lived in those communities that are governed by the local government. We are in AMAC, as I'm speaking with you. What are the roles of AMAC? Is AMAC performing its responsibilities? Workers went on strike. in this FCT last year for 3 months over minimum wage.
You know, Jude, if I allow you to go on, you will take on all the issues. You have now moved from economy to policy and governance at the local government.
It's interwoven.
Yes, it's interwoven. I agree with you.
So
I certainly agree with you. So let's bring it. Hamza,
Hamza.
you deal with the grassroots, and that's why I want to ask you a grassroots question. I mean, yes, you know, we were hit by inflation. The size of meals on our tables shrinked. I mean, everything went haywire, bag of rice. But thank God, today we can buy a bag of rice at, you know, much reduced, you know, cost. Inflation is coming down, thank God. But from your perspective, this is 2026, and we expect to, you know, be in the process of becoming. The president said this is a year of renewed, again, hope. Everybody is saying this is a year of prosperity. What would you expect to be immediate changes at the grassroots?
Plenty of English. Thank you very much. Before I attempt your question, I want to commiserate with the NTA family on what on the tragedy that happened.
Thank you.
It's something that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it has happened, and so we pray.
We lost 7 of our members.
It's
on
a devastating incident.
Coming from a wedding.
From one station. It's something. It's something that will really tell on the station.
Yeah, they are.
And so
majority of them.
We pray that the families find fortitude and God will find some way to appease them. Back to your question, what should happen? I like to start from where...
At least within the first quarter.
I like to start from where Prof made an allusion to something. He says, if you don't change how you react to something, then the new year is not a new thing to you. Time will not matter to you. There's a saying that if you do the same thing over and over again, and you expect a different result, that is the definition of, I don't know whether it's madness or something. It shows clearly that if we don't change how we, like you talked about the grassroots, for us who deal with everyday people, issues like the tax issue doesn't even come up in discussions. They don't even understand what it is. They are not going to benefit from it. They are not going to lose from it. And somewhere along the line, the tax issue seems to be not for them. And so when you go on social media and you go on traditional media and hear this kind of conversations, and you begin to ask, you say something about, you made an allusion about buying a bag of rice. From where I come from, we don't buy a bag of rice. We buy a cup of rice. We're barely able to eat and feed and sleep and wake a day at a time. So the conversation is not for us.
The conversation on what? On the tax reform?
Conversation about governance is not for us. I think it was yesterday you alluded, when you talked about insecurity, that there are a large chunk of our spaces are ungoverned.
Yes. Yeah.
That is where we come from. Government doesn't exist. And what is the first existence of government in an environment? It's not the health sector, neither is it the economic sector. No. It's about security. We need to see a policeman somewhere. Shows you that government is here, not the politician. So what should change immediately in the first 3 months? Yeah. And I want to pick it from where Ogaji just talked about. The president said the implementation of that Supreme Court judgment. We know it was not about political emancipation of local government. No, it was more about resources. How does resources get to local government? But the implication is that for resources to get there, there must be political emancipation. So for us in the grassroots, we want to see immediate implementation. But it requires a change of mindset. Because those who are going to implement it, the assumption of any law is that the implementers of these laws are going to be good people. Or not are going to be, are good people. So we don't make laws for armed robbers and thieves. No. We make laws for good people. And when laws are not implemented to the latter, it means that there's something wrong with the mindset, with the behavior of the people. So we're expecting in the first 3 months, the first 6 months, that the state governors who, I don't know what word to use now, they lord it over the local governments. They should be able to let them breathe, according to the palace. Allow them to do something. Because the insecurity we're facing, the economic challenges we're facing are all domiciled in these ungoverned spaces, in these local community areas. And if we don't allow that system of government to flourish, then whatever we're doing at the top is a waste of time. We should not allow that system to die. It is about to give up. And once it gives up, then that issue around the democracy itself we want to pass on to our children, because we're trying to experiment with it. We've not yet come to terms with it. The grassroots people don't even know what democracy means. As long as it doesn't put food on their table, any form of government doesn't make a difference to them. So we're hoping that the presidency and the governors will find a way somewhere along the line and discuss, because 2026 happens to be leading to 2027. We're praying that the conversation should be around what should happen to grassroots people, what should happen to the security, what do you call it, state police, what should happen to issues around education at the community level. Those kind of conversations are the quick wins we're looking towards. And we're hoping that somewhere along the line, the people who matter will sit down and say, let's make a change, like Prof says. Let's change the way we're analyzing.
Who should steer this? Already we have, the legal support for local governments, to deliver the dividends. So who should drive this, support from the legal angle to reality?
There was a saying I saw somewhere. They said that African problem is caused by the elites. Those who know and ought to know are supposed to drive this process. Those who can read and write and understand processes, understand laws, understand concepts, are supposed to bite it, semi-digest it, and regurgitate it out for communities.
Do you know why I asked this question? Because even in some states, we hear that, the people for whom this law, was
are kicking
made,
against
are
it.
the ones themselves holding,
the question is, who is kicking?
That is the question.
Who is kicking? It's going to be, if you answer that, you now know where the problem is coming from.
Thank you, Hamza. Thank you so much. Okay, let's bring in Reverend now. I mean, from the conversation so far, it's obvious that for you to get hope, renew hope, resolution and all that, there needs to be a complete change of attitude, the way we reason, the way we do things. If there's no system in place, that resolution, that hope cannot be achieved. So what are the religious leaders doing? What is the role of the religious? Because, we have churches, we have mosques, every nook and cranny of this country now. But we don't see the change.
Man is complex.
Absolutely.
And the truth is, I can't change you. Change must be a decision that comes from within. And true religion is not just about knowledge, it's about practice, about implementing what you know. And so when I spoke earlier on about the new year, if there's something I'm sure we're all aware of, it's one of the things that people do at the beginning of the year is to have New Year resolutions. And what is the reason for this? Is just to say that for me, evaluating last year, I think I need to do better. I need to take steps to become better. And for us as Nigerians, if there's anything that I think we've said here this morning, is the fact that we cannot continue to live the way we live and expect any difference. We must change. And this is something that should hit us as a nation. I believe one of the greatest problems we have is that a lot of us don't have the vision of nationhood. Nigeria belongs to us. Let's take security, for example. If I get all the money and build a house of gold in the village, the truth is that with insecurity, I cannot access that house. In short, for me to get there, even sometimes if I go with my security details, it's going to probably be war. And so we need to think nationhood. We need to build this nation. We need to work together. And Nigeria, we are highly religious. Religious leaders are to encourage religious, their followers, their members to be the best, to be better, to change their thinking patterns about life, about the fellow, your neighbor, about the nation, so that we can have the best.
Because there have been a lot of controversies, even in the religious circle. I mean, last year, I mean, a lot of harassment, you know, and all sorts. Do you think they are really driving the needed change in this country?
Okay, so I'll say it depends on where you're looking at. There is no sector, there is no place where you have humans, you won't have challenges. You won't have problems. And challenges can be good, challenges can be bad. I think very well, from my little understanding, that people are trying. And change cannot happen overnight. Change is a process. And you don't give up. You keep putting before the people the vision, the right things to do, the right way to live.
Okay, Prof. Again, I like to stay with the local government autonomy. Now, all the frameworks for financially empowering that tier of government, whether it's a tier of government or not, it's also being contested, you know, by certain people. But at least we know it's a tier of government. You now have, you know, funds are now supposed to go directly to them. They have executive backing, they have judiciary backing, and all that. And for Nigerians, all of these don't matter if they don't have, you know, water to drink.
If they don't feel
they cannot
the
go to school. They cannot pass, you know, drive. Chukwudi came here this morning to say how bad the road from Lokoja to his, you know, community is and all that. But my question is, despite this backing, who should now begin to convert this autonomy, this executive support, this judiciary backing into tangible, you know, benefits, such that local government now becomes government that the people can really feel?
Well, thank you. But let me comment briefly on the religious, on the last point. I make a distinction between religion and spirituality. When you're born and your parents are taking you to a mosque, you say you are a Muslim. When you're born, your parents are taking you to the church, you say you are a Christian. Now, your Christianity is not because you read the Bible and became convinced and understood that Christ is the Son of the Almighty. It's because that's what you've been told. You haven't read the Quran. The same for the Muslim, that's what he's been told. This is the book. So you find that you've been converted or you've been made to adopt a series of claims that make you think that the other one, not only do you not know what it is, but it's necessarily wrong. Think of those who made the two, who made both the Lord Jesus Christ and the prophet. These were quote-unquote ordinary people. What made people take them seriously? What they were saying were not normal. Their kind of knowledge could not be gotten in any school. And so reverence began, belief began, conviction came with it. All of us who are calling ourselves Muslims and Christians, we didn't have that spiritual struggle that our intuition told us, no, I must live like this. That's one. Two, the quote-unquote religious leaders, are they really religious leaders when you talk about majority? He knows his colleagues, whom if you ask him, he will tell you that I doubt that this person believes in God. That's a fact of your experience, sir, with all due respect. That you don't have many who have his comportment, his concern is about prosperity. And you're saying this based on a Bible that told you that his kingdom is not of this world. So let's not mistake owners of religious houses and moderators of religious congregations for necessarily men of God. Because when you then look at it, when you discover that in some religious organizations, your level of wealth determines your importance. Depending if you're a governor, you can walk in and even shake hands before sitting down. And the altar is supposed to be the presence of the Almighty. And then the pastor will actually stop, or the reverend father, and until you finish. And you're coming in with your own security into what you say is the house of God to protect you from angels. So also have an elite that's no longer a religious elite. I mean, no longer spiritually guided. Think of our earlier leaders. There are things that for them out of, imagine that Ahmadu Bello was alive today, Awu was alive, and their colleagues from all over the country are talking about insecurity as well. Are you not ashamed of yourself? You can easily picture that these were men who had a sense of personal dignity. I'm in charge of these people. You can't do anything to them. We have buccaneers, negotiators, you know, who come in poor and within 6 months are stinking rich. No sense of responsibility. So you buy your SUV. If Chukwudi had SUV and escorts, he wouldn't have complained about that. Or helicopter. He's not listening. No, I need him to listen. He's my friend. He knows. These are also his views, you know. So I thought I should bring in that angle so that we don't, in speaking of religion, assume that every person who calls himself a religious leader is a servant of God. That's not my view. The Bible, you have examples of false prophets, you know, so that, I mean, you look at it, you have a private jet, you're living, all kinds of things. You look for traces of what Christ taught. You can't find it. But people are trooping there because they're also not looking for God. They're looking for material prosperity. Anyway, so on the... Now I've forgotten the question.
Who should convert the autonomy, the backing of the executive?
Yes, into something
people can feel.
Those who should convert it are those who are subverting it. Because it's not in their interest. You must understand the political economy of power. Jide and I, you, Claire, you, all four of us are supposed to ensure that all staff of NTA get a certain allowance. We're in control of the funds. We are the ones making decisions. And we discover if we allow this allowance, the extra thing we are getting will not go. And we are the decision makers. We say, listen, don't do anything. Anybody among the staff that tries to make trouble will call him and say, why are you being mischievous? So I take this, we don't want to hear from you again. The political economy of the operating environment is such that you have an elite that has the right and duty to ensure compliance. And he's not doing compliance. It's as simple. The law is, you don't need any further legal backing. And then remember that immediately that law was passed, some local state governments quickly conducted, just before the law, conducted the local government elections and got the chairman, and most of them got people who, I'm doing you a favor. So just don't try to be of bad behavior, yes. So they were now chairman, and the law was passed. There's no quarrel. They are sharing partners of the people's resources. And we're talking local government chairman. Let's also be real. Are there councillors? Yes. Are they ward chairman? Yes. Are they supposed to play a role in governance at that level? Yes. Which of the people know who they are? Because government is distilled to go all the way down. It doesn't exist. Even where we pretend it exists at the state, if anything goes wrong, the person they will call is Tinubu.
So what should happen now? This is 2026. Again, in the process of becoming, a greater nation, the nation that we all, we aspire. That the reason why the president is making all the foreign trips and business partnerships and all that, who should begin? Because this is a fundamental point.
This is what I think can happen.
Yes.
Do local governments have accounts? If they do, and I'm commander-in-chief, and there's a law all the way to the Supreme Court backing me up, is presidential order, no resource will be put into state account on behalf of local governments. It gets paid into the account. But again, the political economy comes in again. The man you're giving it to has a deal with the governor to send the money back to him. But it's important that the executive action is seen up front. This money has been paid into your local government, this amount. It becomes something of interest. Now, it requires the political consciousness of the people for them to get what is theirs. You cannot, for instance, move from Oshu State to Bayelsa to wake them up politically.
But sorry to
it's published.
Yes. If the Supreme Court, has ruled on this matter, do you still need an executive order to get it implemented?
In our environment, yes. Enforcement is a different matter from a court judgment. Now, remember the political class is the decision-taking class. Okay, take an example. I think UBEC funding, Universal Basic Education funding, is counterpart funding. So the state brings something, the federal brings something. When the federal puts its own, the state removes what it put before and uses the other one for other things. That's why some are no longer going forward. Some universities are not getting TET fund because they haven't retired the one they were given. So you migrate it to this level. You then see that when those who ought to provide security to your local government are the ones stealing in the night, you're finished. So, but moving it to the realm of possibility, that's why pragmatic engagement is critical if you're a strategic leader. How can I make this happen? Make sure no money goes and publish it. This is the amount paid into your, it will wake people up. Part of what happened in Ministry of Education, if you recall, at the time I was there, was that all money is going to schools under, what was it again? You know, Transparency for School Funds. The name of the school was published. The amount was published because for each primary school, there's a figure given. And we took the time to go around the country and you find that some of the schools, like a primary school for this month or whatever is given 2 million, we actually went and found they got the money and they spent it very well. Okay. The headmaster's office was painted, that was all. And the money was shared.
I know you will you will be leaving us soon. That's why I'm still engaging. Within this aspect, we have someone whose responsibility is to track performance. Now, what role should this office now, be doing with regards to the local government autonomy and responsibilities?
See, I move from laws and the ideal to the reality of the operating environment. There is somebody who should enforce compliance. Instead of enforcing compliance, he comes to me and says, well, I see you're not doing the right thing. Talk to me, let's leave this matter. That's what's happening. And let's not deceive ourselves. It's important to be realistic. Otherwise, we remain at the level of, we have made this law. Laws don't implement themselves. If you have made a law for good behavior, and all the people are rascals, and their coordinator is also a rascal, rascality will prevail. So it's not, I like always to move down from the ideal. In this environment, all the a compliance officer do. A policeman on duty is a compliance officer. He meets you, your papers are not complete, he should take down your details and arrest you. But you go beside the car and talk to him in a certain language and you drive on. It doesn't remove his title as compliance officer, but there's no service delivery. That's the crisis on the table at all levels of leadership.
Wow. Prof, thank you so much. I mean, we need to move to other guests now. Let's bring in Jide Ojo, because we are looking at how effectively, government policy.
I'll soon be leaving.
Yes.
And I want to leave a note so that NTA notes. I'll get DSA, the Law and Space Academy, to send a letter so that I'll be receiving commission on all my students who come here. Jide was my student as an undergraduate. Claire was my student. So please expect correspondence.
And I remember talking about changing our mindset and orientation. So because I know you bring in Jide.
So we're looking at how government policies can really translate into benefits for ordinary Nigerians, especially in 2026. What's the way out?
So for me, taking it, since you have included the religious class in all of this, I think Professor Okechukwu said something very fundamental, and which many of us have not advanced our minds to. Everybody went to, or most people went to crossover service, but what are they crossing into? You see, if the way we mouth God, if the way we play religion, if we are genuinely religious, we will not have all of these issues of compliance, doing the right things, service delivery. The people who are saddled with service delivery, with compliance, are very religious people. In fact, when some of them are under prosecution, they will take time off to go and pray and come back to the court. That's how religious they are. But what is your religiosity without ethics? Religion without ethics. I think it was Mahatma Gandhi that talks about 7 sins. And it talks about religion without with that ethics. So the point is, we have started a new year. If we can be selfless, if we all can do the right thing, if we all would think less of our personal aggrandizement and think more about service delivery in whatever role and position we are assigned to help in governance structure, this country will be a better thing. And I'm talking reality just the way Professor Okechukwu is talking reality, because we can figure out the legalese, we can see the laws, we can see the policies, but we are not seeing compliance. We are not seeing implementation. Let me shock you.
Please don't shock me.
In 2018, former President Muhammadu Buhari, for the first time, signed into law constitutional alteration to give financial and administrative autonomy to state judiciary and state house of assembly.
Absolutely.
The governors stood against it. They say, oh, you know, the law is not explicit and all of that. And did you know the last amendment of the Constitution, 5th alteration, there was further amendment of the same law that was altered in 2018. In 2023, what has been the state of compliance? State judiciary, state houses of assembly are still without financial autonomy. The president is talking about wielding the executive order if the governors fail to implement the local government autonomy decision of the Supreme Court. After Supreme Court is only God. But yet, we have 36 people who does what they like. And who will die, even a president to say, if you force us, if you push us too hard, remember 2027 is around the corner. So emotional blackmail comes into the fray. Why are we like this?
Is there hope at all? Because
there is hope.
What you are painting.
There is hope. But you see, that is why in some countries, you see the youth, the Gen Zs taking to the street and demanding service and demanding implementation.
No, but you're not encouraging the Gen Zs
We are
to take
not
to the streets.
it's not a no-place situation. But I'm saying, okay, from the religious point of view, they will say, maybe by tomorrow some churches will start declaring fasting and prayer. Some will declare 100 days, some will declare 30 days, some will say month long. So you have fasted, you have prayed, and things are not changing. So what do? We have seen people going on street protests to demand certain things, including our senior citizens, who are still demanding, going to protest about their pension. Pension that you ordinarily, some people are behind, they have received the money, all the reforms. So the point I'm making is just to look ourselves in the face and say, the problem of Nigeria is the man in the mirror. If you look at where you and I are supposed to do things and we refuse to do, are we really conscious of our contributions to the underdevelopment of this country?
So what do you hope to see, let's say before the end of the first quarter, with regards to the issues that you have raised?
What I want to see is the president as the commander-in-chief giving order and following it up to say, I want to see X, Y thing, X, Y, Z. That's why you have ministers. Ministers have aides. They are paid for by the state. Even the president under this have somebody in a unit or directorate that is supposed to ensure monitoring and compliance. At the end of the day, the president needs to do the needful and find out from independent sources apart from his media aides what are the state of play on some orders he has given. How has it been implemented? If it has not been implemented, why is it not implemented? Let me give you a very good instance. The president, this same President Bola Tinubu, gave after a fake meeting or one of those meetings, he said, I want to implement the Oransai report. Remember? And he gave 12 weeks, 3 months. within which he wants to do the implementation. They have killed it in view. They have killed it in view. So if the president then is serious about the order he gave, he should have said, head of service, SGF, what's happening? I've not seen implementation of this particular order I gave.
Thank you.
Okay,
because
they will be going
yes.
now. I mean, let's take from Reverend now. I mean, you have listened to the conversation so far, and it borders on the fact that the drivers of these policies are the major, challenge that we are having in this country. And they all are either Christians or Muslims. Just like Jide said, many would declare fasting period now at this moment, and after the fast, we go back, to normality. So what is the way out? What can be done?
Let me pick it up from the perspective of the fasting. There are various reasons why people do things. There are various reasons why people fast. And that I don't understand why somebody is fasting does not negate the fasting of the person. People fast for their relationship with God. People even fast for health purposes, and on and on. I don't want to go there. The problem of Nigeria, I think we should stop finger pointing. We should start to do mass grassroots mobilization. How do I mean? Make the laws. If people are not held accountable, we can hide under religion, we can hide under politics, we can hide under tribes. What is the problem with our country? The problem with our country is that people are not held accountable for their actions, for their decisions. And the local person, the grassroots person, is made to feel like he does not matter. Election will come. What do? Give money to people, they vote. Not based on their consciences, based on what you've given to them. Forgetting that at the end of the day, it comes back to us. So for me, I think that a major thing that needs to be done, and we need to do, now, I won't say people should go on the streets, but if it needs to be, it should happen.
Okay.
Nigerians should know and make demands. In the local government, if the money has been given, people should ask questions.
Okay.
The chairman lives within the community, or is supposed to live within the community. Yes. And if he's not living within the community, the people should act.
Okay, sorry, just hold on. Sorry, yes, I know, just hold on. Reverend, I'd like you to talk to us about bridging religiosity and spirituality, because Prof talked about it, and it's very important, because if we are going to be agents of change, we must also start from what we believe, our faith.
Change begins.
Yes, because I remember sometimes, I don't know, Prof, if I'm right, Prof, there was a time when philosophy was made compulsory in the university. And for people like me, it opened my eyes to all religions and enabled me to, make my decision, whatever faith I wanted to become. Do you think that philosophy as a course should be made compulsory in our schools?
By the way, I did philosophy as part of my studies. Oh yes, it is great, and people should have opportunities. Now, religiosity, spirituality, one of the things I learned from philosophy is that words are meaningless. It is the meaning you impute on words. So I will need to define what I mean by religiosity and what I mean by spirituality. So put that aside. I think that true religion is not a coercion of people into doing something, into chanting and following a particular way. True religiosity or true spirituality is giving people the opportunity to learn. For me as a pastor, let me share with you one of the things I do.
In 30
sorry.
seconds. In 30 seconds.
Yes, because he has to go as well.
I'll be true now.
Yeah.
One of the things I do is to tell my members, learn the scripture for yourself. I will teach you, I will preach, but don't depend solely on me.
That's why the Bible says, study to show yourself approved unto God.
Yes.
No, Prof. I mean, we know that you're living in less than 1 minute. So, I mean, there are laws there, policies, that, people can hold people accountable for their actions. Do we need to strengthen this?
There are enough laws. You don't need to. And the president in a democracy, it was spoken of him exercising executive powers. That's different from asking for tyranny. He will make a reference to the judgment of the Supreme Court and demand compliance. So that we does, yes, which is the point you're making, so that somebody is going to say, oh, Buhari should, Tinubu should start terrorizing everybody. No, even though that's what Trump is doing. Exactly. It's supposed to be running a democracy, but ask yourself, how many laws have the U.S. Parliament passed, and how many executive orders? In hundreds. That's what it's using to govern the states. We're not asking for that. We're saying that this is a substantive legal pronouncement, not just by a court of competent jurisdiction, but by the Supreme Court. Reference to that, the federal government has decided that in disbursements, funds will go directly to so and so and so. And then, there, of course, there has to be, that's probably where Noah will come in. Have you asked your local government chairman a question today? Do you know your ward chairman? What does he do? It's a whole of society, a national rebirth revolving around the reawakening of political and social consciousness. That's in that regard.
Thank you very much, Prof. We have to let you go now. Thank you so much for your contribution this first day, New Year to 2026. Professor Oke Ikechukwu is the Executive Director, Development Specs Academy and Fellow Nigeria Institute of Public Relations. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. And Reverend Tom Takbotare, please wait. Senior Pastor, First Baptist Church, Gariki. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. And we believe that, just like you have spoken, we all need to study, the word and make the necessary change.
Thank you very much. And thank you once again, Claire. Good morning. Happy New Year.
All right. So we'll take a break now. The conversation will continue. Stay with us.
It is that time of the year again when we pause to say thank you for your trust, for your loyalty, and for staying with us every step of the way. Through the highs and the lows, the moments that mattered, the stories that shaped our nation. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, from compelling documentaries to quality entertainment, from public service information to stories that unite us as a nation. You made us your choice. We sincerely appreciate you. Our viewers, our partners, and our valued customers, thank you for your unwavering patronage throughout the year. And as we step into the new year, we are inspired to serve you better with greater dedication to professionalism, improved content, and stronger public service. NTA, trusted, authentic, reliable source of news, entertainment, and public service information. NTA, you can't beat the reach.
The year 2025 marked another step in Nigeria's journey towards destination of development. However, there were many hurdles on the way. In a special package to review 2025, we interrogate the issues that determine the direction of state.
The task ahead is enormous, but surmountable. We can win. We will win.
The ovation and the recriminations.
We are united. No religious persecution in Nigeria is a lie from the pit of hell.
Programs, projects, protests, and pronouncements. Join us for Rear Window 2025 on Thursday, 1st January 2026. Rear Window 2025. We look back to look forward.
This December, all eyes in Morocco.
Get down, just start, I'ma grind it.
Africa, assemble. All dreams are heading one way.
Planetary movement aligning. All passion, all fire.
Because here, you play different.
Choose your side.
Time to wake up.
Show your colors.
Bring your flag.
And we welcome you to Morocco.
Get ready for the drama, the passion, the pride. From 21st December 2025 to 18th January 2026, history will be made again.
You guys ready?
Time to wake up.
Afro Sport, your freedom of sport.
Africa, a land of passion, pride, and power. Across this vast continent, the game runs deep. In every back alley, beach, and pitch, a billion hearts beat to one rhythm, the Africa Cup of Nations. We remember the kings of Cairo, when Zambia shocked the world, when Nigeria soared, the dreamers of Yaoundé, when Senegal stood tall. Last time, the elephants rose. From the thunder of Casablanca to the lights of Marrakesh, the stage is set in Morocco. This is where the past meets the present, where new stories begin. 24 nations, one trophy, but no script.
Oh, what a strike!
The drums return. The ground shakes. The continent rises. This is AFCON 2025.
32 matches, every Super Eagles game, all live.
This is ours.
Afro Sport, your freedom of sport.
It is that time of the year again when we pause to say thank you for your trust, for your loyalty, and for staying with us every step of the way. Through the highs and the lows, the moments that mattered, the stories that shaped our nation. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, from compelling documentaries to quality entertainment, from public service information to stories that unite us as a nation. You made us your choice. We sincerely appreciate you. Our viewers, our partners, and our valued customers, thank you for your unwavering patronage throughout the year. And as we step into the new year, we are inspired to serve you better with greater dedication to professionalism, improved content, and stronger public service. NTA, trusted, authentic, reliable source of news, entertainment, and public service information. NTA, you can't beat the reach.
All right, welcome back to Good Morning Nigeria. We have Jide Ojo right here, and of course Hamza also in the studio. Prof and Reverend, of course, have to be let go to attend to other, assignments that they have. Again, let's quickly take a few messages that have come in. This one has no name. I would that you sent in your name, then of course we can appreciate you. But you said implementing Supreme Court judgment on LGA autonomy lies in the hands of the chairman of the LGA. They can go back to the Supreme Court to seek another order. The LGA should conduct elections by themselves and not by the state governments.
Maybe Hamza, you want to respond to that?
We need to be careful how we couch a story. what do you call it? The popular narrative to that judgment was a local government autonomy judgment. That wasn't what was taken to the court. That wasn't what the Supreme Court ruled on. Because local government autonomy is a constitutional matter, and of course, one of the judges in their dissenting judgment said that we should not bring constitutional amendment to the court. You know what you should do in your constitution? It says go and alter your constitution. So what the judgment was that Section 7 that says local government must be democratically elected, must be governed by a democracy, was what the government took to court and said we cannot transfer funds meant for local government to undemocratic local government systems. And because of that, you saw the mass dash by governors to go and conduct whatever they call elections. So that was what it was. So unless we are, and again I keep going back to, laws are meant for people that are good. If we're not good, then like Prof said, all those laws we're making will not amount to anything. If we want the local system to work, local government system to work, we must, as a people, agree that we want that local system to come out, to become a third tier of government. In the Constitution, it's not there. Local government is not a tier of government in the Constitution. The federating units are the states and the federal government. It's clearly written. But we know that we needed a local government system because we want to devolve power to local government. Yeah. If we understand it, it's not every constitution that is written. The British Constitution is not written. But the people accept and believe that this is what they want. The question is, what do we want? We have too many of us who don't know what we want. And because of that, we're comfortable gaining and getting back reward for a system that doesn't work. Why we're having the Nigerian problem is that a lot of Nigerians want this system to continue because it benefits you. Today, they will make your person a local government chairman, or they make him a commissioner. All your family and the local government will move in Ashwebi and go and do Thanksgiving. As if the commissioner has become a privilege, like that you have become Dangote overnight, instead of seeing it as a service provision. You cannot continue to have bad leaders if you don't have bad citizens. Leaders are gotten from citizens. How come whenever we put our hand in that pool for leadership selection, what we come up with is a bad leader? It shows clearly there's something wrong with the citizens. We train our people on leadership. Prof has left. He's one of the big people in that. But we don't train our people on followership. We need to have a mindset on how to be a good citizen. What does it mean to be a Nigerian citizen? If you do your role and I do my role as a citizen, it means that the government, whoever becomes the leader, has a good people to work with. Look at the president. We keep calling President Tinubu should do this. The governor should do that. You cannot be a leader if you don't have followers. If your followers are bad, nothing you can do to help it. You're finished. So I think we need to begin to look at how do we train citizens to understand that when you say trust deficit, it's from the citizen, not from leaders. Leaders don't have deficit for followers. It's followers that do that. If you don't trust the system, we tell our kids that the police is corrupt. You tell your kids that the politicians are bad. You tell your kids that this federal government is corrupt. They are all stealing money. The child grows up to see that that is what government is about and doesn't trust government anymore. And when you look at our insecurity issue that we're having, it's around this issue around people that don't trust government. Young people get together and they don't trust government anymore. You hear Boko Haram, you hear Lakwarawa, you hear IPOB, you hear These are pockets of young people who are beginning to see that, or beginning to exhibit what we taught them as their fathers, that government doesn't work. I keep saying, if you don't trust police, if you don't trust the police, wait until you get robbed. I'll see who you run to.
I think, Hamza, just to what you reference, the landmark judgment, by the Supreme Court was on local government financial autonomy, which means that all the 774 LGAs must receive their statutory allocation directly from the Federation account.
All right.
Yes.
That was what was ruled on.
But again, you can see that it's the constitutional matter for a local government to open an account with CBN and federal government to send money there. Some state governments went to court to say, you don't have that power under the Constitution to ask local government, who are not a tier of government, to open an account and you fund them directly. That's why we have the joint account. You can see where there's still issues around. Yes, the Supreme Court has already given a judgment, but the problem, how do you interpret this judgment? And unless you have a good mind, you're going to interpret it. If you say you want to interpret it based on what the Constitution says, we still have a lacuna.
I don't understand the point you are now, because you deal with grassroots.
Yes.
And we are looking at how, the dividends of democracy
we'll get to them.
Jide, please, can you weigh in here?
So I wrote on this when that decision was given. There are two layers of that decision. The first one is that Section 7, and I don't understand when we say, when we apply classical definition of federalism, that it recognized two tiers, federal and the federating units. In our constitution, we have Section 7, which which says that no local government should be governed undemocratically. We have a whole schedule for functions of local government. You understand? So we have part of the Constitution, State Independent Electoral Commission, established to conduct elections into local government. So what else is there to be recognized as tier of government? If the Constitution have already given birth to you, has talked about how you are supposed, elections are supposed to be conducted into you, how you are supposed to be governed, and then gives you a whole schedule of activities. This Transit Road under local government, primary health care center under local government, markets under local government, liquor license under local government,
signages,
even primary schools under local government.
So
the point is, we are just playing with words. Two things that Supreme Court decision talked about. One is that Section 162, we talk 162 sub 3, I guess, which talks about funding for local government should be sent into a joint state-local government account. The Supreme Court ruled on that point of law and said, look, it's not sacrosanct that you have to willy-nilly put that money there. And it's not the first time the Supreme Court has made the decision, because Supreme Court decision is also has a force of law. It's like a piece of legislation. You get. I recall when Prince Abubakar Audu died, and there was no law that talks about if a candidate dies in between the time of election and the time results were concluded, what happens? And INEC decided, after consulting his lawyers, to say, you just ask the party that nominated that dead candidate to replace him. It was later that a constitutional alteration was effected to give it legal backing, so to say. Then there was a time that the governors were misinterpreting a section of the Constitution which talks about when their term of office begins. If they lose at the election tribunal, some will say after 2 years at the tribunal, they now lose. The court says, oh, you didn't win this election, then we'll go for a rerun. Some governors were saying, oh, my tenure starts from when I won my rerun, not when I was first. Until the Supreme Court said, no, you cannot have more than 4 years. Yeah. If you are the one that your election was nullified, and you went through the process again, and you won, your inauguration started from the day of your first inauguration and not from your second inauguration. So that's why we have 3 tiers of government. But the bottom line is that political class are playing with ways. The point is that they don't want to do the needful because of their own vested political aggrandizement. They want to just have this tier of government or this arm of government, as whatever you want to call it, this level of government under their control, under their stranglehold, which is not helpful, because if you are talking economy, you are talking security. The local government has a role to play. There are 768 local government and 6 area councils, making 774. If primary health care center is non-functional, if primary schools are non-functional, if the rural roads, which we call trunk C roads, are not motorable, no light, no water at the community level, then they don't feel government presence.
All right, okay, Jide, let me take these comments now. I have 2 here. This one is from Samuel Adamu Joshua. I said, thank you for bringing up this discussion on the tax law. I believe it is a good initiative, but it really needs to be clearly explained to Nigerians in simple terms. many people, including some accountants, still struggle to properly explain how these taxes work. As Uncle Jide rightly mentioned, we need to clearly understand what the government is saying. At the moment, this tax law is not clear to ordinary Nigerians. For example, issues around transfers, narrations like gifts, school fees, or personal support are confusing, and people do not understand how these are assessed or calculated. There is still a lot we need to understand, and my sincere prayer is that this policy does not create confusion or misunderstanding or end up being seen as a failure on the part of government. And this one is saying that, good morning, I think we need to see at grassroots, is the price of fertilizer coming down? I agree the price of food crop is coming down now, but fertilizer is still high. Hamza, you want to speak to that before we go to...
It shows clearly again, like I said earlier, who is doing the talking, who is complaining and who is accepting it. For people in grassroots, from where we come from, what matters to us is that policies are seamless. They don't affect our everyday life. We understand there should be a government. Government is there. After God is government. But government decisions and issues should not be an obstacle to our everyday struggle for our bread and butter issues. And so when issues around tax laws and issues around speaking about prices of fertilizer, because fertilizer is becoming a very serious issue when it comes to agriculture, which is where 70-75% of citizens end their living or based on. And so we always want that our elites, those who know, that's why we have representatives, those who went to school. No, those days, if somebody goes to school, if somebody is educated in one community, it's like a door, a light has been shone to that community. He'll be the one to be able to write letters, interpret letters, read letters, all those things that, and talk about governance issues to his community. Now we have more people who are educated in the communities, and yet we have more problems in the communities. So it means something is wrong with that gap. And so those who are supposed to know are now the ones that are telling us that things are not right. How can you, in all honesty, having not read the tax law, for instance, Ogajide said it's about 1,000 pages, 4 different laws. You have not read it, but you are taking an opinion, putting it out to people who cannot read. Because there's a saying that says, those who can read and do not read don't have an advantage over those who cannot read.
Hamza, we have to let
I think that we need to have better elites, better people who can educate people at the grassroots to say, tell us the truth. Don't lie to us. Don't give us an agenda. Because when you do that, you confuse us the more, because we are just trying to make a living. We don't want all these political issues to into it.
Thank you.
Jide, just final one on the foreign trips made by President Tinubu. He did, travel a lot, and of course had business relationships and struck business deals and all that. What do you expect to see within the first quarter of this year with regards to those business deals and transactions?
Thank you, Claire. And I will take it from this angle of the appointment of ambassadors, which was long overdue and was left for almost 2 years. But thankfully, I think in this month they are going to be deployed to their respective places. Where am I bringing ambassadors? Because they are the ones that will now do follow-up to those trips, to follow up with the host government. Oh, my government have a bilateral relationship, we have a committee in place, so you follow up. Because if you don't follow up, things will go hurry. So the president is doing his own bit, putting his political weight out there. Today, you can fly from Nigeria to Brazil, courtesy of bilateral air service agreement that was signed between Nigeria and Brazil. It's under we became a partner organization under BRICS. He was for 2 years the chairman of ECOWAS, and so he's done his own bit. But the people, and this is why it's very important to end this program on this note. If you are assigned a responsibility, either by the governor or by the president, and you know that this will rub off positively on the government, please do it. Because the governor, the president, the local government chairperson cannot by themselves be the implementer. They can set policy priorities, they can do budget, they can follow up to make sure that you get your funds. But when you do get these funds, please apply it appropriately rather than for self-aggrandizement.
All right,
Thank
Jide,
you very
thank
much.
you. We'd like to really appreciate your perspectives, Jide, always on point. Jide Ojo is a public affairs analyst, and would also like to really appreciate Hamza, of course, who has also given us his own perspectives. Hamza, thank you. Hamza, of course, deals with the grassroots. He's the executive director, Grassroots Initiatives. Thank you. And once again, Happy New Year.
Thank you
and
very
then Happy New Year to everyone. Of course, it's the first day, 2026. I'd like to thank you very much for making it this far with us. I am Claire Adelabo Abdulrazak, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
And I'm Ademola Adeoye. Do have a lovely year.